Am I starting a new vlog? I guess so. I don't really know what I plan on doing this week, but it is Monday. I dropped the boys off at school this morning, and then I've been gone all day long. It's about time to go pick up the boys from school. Went flea marketing today. I went with my grandparents, so I've been missing them. So it was really nice getting out and visiting with them for a while. But we actually went about an hour and a half. Yeah, we went an hour and a half, like about an hour. Well, I think it's just like an hour. Yeah, just about an hour away from us to a new flea market. And I actually found quite a few books, so I thought I would show you guys. First of all, though, all this stuff down in here. I cleaned up my purse earlier and literally threw everything in this box, but it's book of the month. This was my choice, you guys. I really like Megan Miranda, so obviously I was super excited for her new book. I cannot wait to read this. Yep, cleaning out my purse. I also went ahead and got What Lies in the Woods. I'm pretty sure my library has this as well, but I don't know. I thought, why not? It's by Kate Alice Marshall, but I think it's a part of 2 book clubs that I'm currently following. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get it with the add-on on there. But I found some Stephen King. I got The Talisman. I got the 3rd book in the Dark Tower series, The Wastelands. I found another Megan Miranda because the place we went to also had a Goodwill. So we stopped by their Goodwill and I found this one, The Last to Vanish. I have not read this Megan Miranda. So I was excited to find that. And then I also found this, Big Little Lies. And I actually have never read this. I know it's, the HBO show with Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon. I've never watched the show, but I am definitely a watch or a read before watch. So I can read it and, I guess watch. And then I also got Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I actually meant to keep this with my mama and see if she wants to read it, but I forgot. And then, of course, I had to pick up the boys' Pokemon cards. And I also found this, which they're going to be really excited about, but it has a bunch of Pokemon characters, so I'm excited for them to see it. Oh, I forgot. I also got a new mug. Here, I'm here for the booze. And then on the inside, it's a little dirty. I need to wash it, but You've Been Poisoned. I also mentioned me and my friends a couple of them are rereading the Twilight books. I still have mine from when I was younger, but we've been keeping an eye out for books for them, and I'm also on the mission to try to find Midnight Sun, which I think I'm just going to have to order it because I did not find it today. But I did find Breaking Dawn and New Moon for one of them. It has been quite an eventful day. I dropped the boys off this morning, and then my grandparents swung by, picked me up around 9 o'clock this morning, and it's now after 3. I'm about to go get the boys. It's been a full-on day, but I thought I would start a vlog since I wanted to show you guys what books I got, and definitely trying to stay more consistent with my vlogging. I have more to do this week. I still have a rose bush to put out back. Some gardening things, so maybe I'll show you guys my actual garden, like show you guys what all I planted this year and all of that in this vlog. And then, of course, some more reading. And then, I almost forgot. Roman has a field trip this Friday. He gets to go to a butterfly house, and I'm going to go with them. So can't really vlog a whole lot of that with all the other kids there, but I will try to get some things of maybe butterflies and that type of ordeal. And, of course, books. I'll be filling you guys in. So my last vlog, I left off with reading Such Pretty Flowers. And I literally have maybe like 20 minutes left of it, if that. I am about to head out the door, though, with you guys. But yeah, I only have like 20 minutes left of it, so I think I'll be finishing it today. I'm going to try to listen to it. Usually I do while I'm waiting for Axel at his school. And then I've been working on Twilight. I'm kind of pausing because I kind of want to get Midnight Sun. If you don't know, you may know, you may not. But Midnight Sun, I believe, is just the first book, Twilight, but it's in Edward's perspective. So I'm like, if I'm gonna read it, I kind of want to read them at like the same time and like kind of stay up to date on like the scenes, like go back and forth for the different, POVs. But yeah, I thought it'd be kind of different. And I think it's also because I have been rereading Twilight and I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels like yesterday I read this. Like, yeah, it's crazy how much I still remember from the books. It feels like it hasn't been like a decade since I read them. So yeah, I kind of want to get Midnight Sun. So I've kind of paused on that one. I need to start the next one in the Bill Hodges series this week, Finders Keepers. And what is the other one? There's a couple other ones that I've also started too. So there's going to be a lot of reading this week. This might actually be my week where I planned like maybe last week or the week before to be like a week reading with me where I'm like catching up on all of my book club reads. That might be this week, you guys, because it is like crunch time. I need to get in so many books to kind of get caught up, which actually does remind me. I started the second Finley Donovan. And I have it on the audiobook, I think, through Hoopla, I think. And then I have the actual book from my library. So I read a couple chapters, and then I was so tired last night that I put my AirPod in and lay down and put a sleep timer on because I was like, I know I'm going to fall asleep. But I did listen to part of chapter 3 and I fell asleep. So I'm going to have to revisit part of that. But yeah, I'm going to go pick up the boys. It is such a pretty day outside, but we just got a bunch of rain. So unfortunately it did take some of my petals, but everything still looks really pretty. I'm just waiting for everything to expand and kind of grow all up close to each other, but it's so pretty. You guys like my thrift store find?
After getting this, I could just Squirtle.
Squirtle? Yeah.
Pikachu's almost out.
Want me to help you guys get him out?
We got it, Rudy. Axel, one of Pikachu's ears poked through this. I want him back to me. Let's go back to me. He back to me. He back to me.
Go back inside. It's now Tuesday. Yesterday I completely forgot around the time that I was vlogging that we were going to a soccer game. And so yeah, yesterday was just a full-on day, you guys. But one of Axel's friends who is in his class plays soccer. I did ask the boys this season if they wanted to play, but they still haven't wanted to go back to sports, and I'm okay with that. So it is what it is. But one of Axel's friends is playing, so I think it was his last game. So we wanted to go and support, and we had just been so busy week after week. So it was nice to finally be able to go and see him at least for a game. Today was a full-on day, and I was gone almost the entire day. So today I've been home. I got some chores done this morning. I did a little bit of reading. I was torn between Finders Keepers and Finley Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. Both of them actually are second books in a series, which is kind of cool. But I went with this one because, I don't know, I just kind of wanted a lighter read. I had already started this, so yeah, I read a couple chapters, and then I've just been listening to the audiobook, kind of going back and forth, like I said, and really liking it. I really like the narrator for this one. She is very entertaining, and I like the voice changes and everything that she does for each character. I got to a part where Sylvia, the literary agent for Finley in the book, comes into play, and the Italian accent was just incredible. But I have just been very productive, moving very steady, and really enjoying it. Thankfully, I feel like I've fallen behind a lot on different work related things, or even editing and posting, and all of those things that I really need to be getting done. But we've had so much going on here at the house, and I just want it done. And so now I'm trying to just do everything I can to get plans moving along. I mean, we've had a freaking rose bush in our dining room for 3 weeks now in a bucket, and while I got all the other plants outside in the front and one rose bush out there, this other one has literally just been sitting in our dining room. And now I have more plants in there that I just got from Home Depot the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need to stop. I keep adding stuff to my plate, and I'm like, I need to stop. But this morning, I got the rose bush outside in the backyard, by my garden beds. So while I was out there, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to show them my garden while I'm at it. The rose bush, we're going to have to give her some time because she's muddy, everything else. She does have a little bit of a sprout on her, so I'm really excited, and you can see the thorns and stuff, and I don't know when exactly she's going to bloom, if at all this season. We will see, but I'm excited. That's our yellow rose bush. We have the red one in the front. But moving to the garden bed, so the first bed next to the rose bush is kind of the past couple of years, including this year, is my cucumber bed. I have 4 cucumber plants. I actually went in just thinking, let me at least get 3 cucumber plants, because for some reason, every year, at least 1 cucumber plant dies on me. And it actually looks like that's about to happen, but I will at least have 3 cucumber plants left. But moving to the next bed, this bed is kind of usually just random. Some years I do bell peppers, some years I've done squash and zucchini in it. This year we always have jalapenos, so I have a couple jalapeno plants on one end. And then the rest of the bed, I think I have about 4, 2 different kinds of cherry tomatoes, because we love tomatoes in this house. And that leads us to the last bed, which is just my tomato bed. I got the bigger beefy tomatoes, so I think we have a couple of the big boy and then a couple of the better boy tomatoes. But I just like the really big beefy ones. Oh my gosh, they're so good for BLTs or burgers, salads, or I just love to just eat them with salt. I love tomatoes, and so do James and Roman, at least. Axel is more of a cucumber pasta boy. Yeah, we eat a lot of cucumbers and tomatoes, and me and James love jalapenos. And so that's just kind of what we're doing this year. And it just is kind of a load off of me, because I oh my gosh, I think the year before last, my garden was just shit. My mental health got so bad during that time that I literally had started my garden. It was thriving. My mental health stopped thriving, so did the garden, and it just kind of died out. Where last year I was like, okay, now this is going to be the year, and I tried so hard with that garden, you guys, and last year was just a really bad year. And I feel like I heard that from a lot of people, a lot of people had a really hard time with their gardens last year and barely got anything, and it is what it is. So hopefully this is a good year. I'm hoping that I can set the right intentions and manifest a good garden this year. I need to look and see if there's some rituals for that. I'm about to be out there like dancing around my flower or my garden bed, my flower bed. But yeah, it's been a pretty eventful day so far. I've made it to, I think, chapter 8 or 9 in this book, and I'm still liking it. I think it's funny. It's very like quirky and witty, but like in a good way. And I just love the dynamic of these characters so much that I'm just really enjoying it again, just like the first. And I mean, I think we can all agree if you've read this series, like Steven, the like ex-husband in the equation, is like the biggest douchebag ever. So like Vero, the babysitter and like accomplice or whatever, friend of Finley, the main character, her like comments to Steven, I die every time. They're so funny, and I just love how she just puts him in his place, especially like his whole dynamic with her in the first book that just made me so mad. Like, I'm like, you go. But yeah, I'm not really sure what's next on my list. I did clean out the bunny cage and hung out with the bunnies for a little bit. They're doing good. They're like my cats at this point. But we have been moving them because I've just kind of got to a point where I hate looking at their cage. And we've established that they have to have their cage because if they don't, they shit everywhere. And if they have the cage, they only shit in their cage. And it's a nightmare to clean out, but I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather that than shit all over my house. So we got them a litter box. We tried it again. We moved them to our room, and I got like a big, nice rug in here for them. We put, their gates around it. We put their litter box in there, their food and water bowl. We've done everything we're supposed to. You put the Timothy hay and their food close to the litter box so that they'll go in their litter box. No, they just shit and piss all over the rug. And I'm like, seriously, like, go in the litter box. And then I look over there, they're just like lounging in their litter box. Like it's a bed now. And I'm like, guys, that is for... While trying to redo the living room, I have a whole sectional that I need to shampoo. I've been shampooing my carpets, but I have to do it in like, I got to get this corner done. And then I'm going to do this corner because it's just like impossible with my back to do the entire room all in one go. So I've been having to take breaks and have all the garden things going on. I still want to get more stuff done in like my room with things. And I'm like having to put a lot of that on hold. And our room's a mess because we started decluttering everything. I've been decluttering our bathroom cabinets. And so it's like spring cleaning, decluttering, transitioning the bunnies and feeling like I'm having to potty train them all over again. And like redoing just about every room in our house. So yeah, it's been a fun, busy time. Yesterday was much needed being away from the house. I'm just still exhausted from it. So like I'm moving kind of slow today, but at least getting some things checked off my list. And I really wanted to go to the library today. It's only like a little after noon. So I may still be able to. I have some books due that I really need to take back, but I also have a hold that I need to pick up. So I really need to actually go in and get my hold, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it today with everything else. But I will keep you guys posted. Hopefully I can get some more off my list done today because I'm drowning, you guys. I feel like I was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel and now I'm not. Like it's so far away, it's out of my grasp. Like, I'm sorry to my unknown lover. Sorry that I can't believe that anybody ever really starts to fall in love with me. Sorry to my unknown lover. Sorry I could be so blind. Didn't mean to leave you and all of the things that we had behind. guys, one of these days I'll actually invest in like some type of way to put my phone up in the car for vlogging and stuff. That's hands-free. This is hands-free, but still not super reliable, and I know that the noises and the angle isn't the best, but I wanted to check in with you guys because I know I haven't really vlogged a whole lot this week. It's at this point, when is it not like a dark week, I guess? Yeah, it's been heavy, but I don't even know where I left off with you guys. I actually didn't plan on vlogging this week, and then I got a wild hair and like started vlogging the beginning of this week, and literally couldn't even tell you what I started vlogging about because it is now Friday, and there's just been a lot going on. I've tried to somewhat vlog some of the things that we have done. We have been working on rearranging our living room and doing a lot of stuff with that. I got more stuff done. I think I vlogged the whole garden situation. But yeah, besides that, it's just been like, I don't know. We're busy every single evening, and then during the day, I'm working on like smaller tasks to kind of make our nights easier. Anyways, this week I have been reading too. I finished the second book in the Finlay Donovan series. I think it's the Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm still really liking it, which I know that people still liked it on this book, so I'm still intrigued to see what is all the hate about the third book. I can't wait to start it. I put a hold on it at my library, but I might cave and get the audiobook, you guys, because with the first book, I just read it. The second book, since we've been busy, I bounce back and forth. I really have a good time reading her writing. It's so entertaining and fast-paced. And I love the humor of these books so much, you guys. So I did read the majority of it, but when I was busy, I would put on the audiobook, and the narrator, if it's the same narrator for the second book that it is the third one, I will probably get the audiobook because I just loved it. She made it so interesting. It was one narrator, but she changed her voice, which sometimes is like, for me, like it is what it is. But the way she changed her voice for each of these characters was phenomenal. There's like it's like this Russian mob almost in here. So you have like different like Russian characters too. And like her accent for it was just like spot on. And even with the audiobook, I was literally chuckling at Vero's comments about people. Really good. I probably wouldn't give it a 5, but I would give it a 4, and I'm still really intrigued in the series, so I wanted to fill you guys in on it. I'm still working on, is it Over My Dead Body? Because I've been taking notes for a Hella Spooky episode. I'm working on rereading some past books that I read when I was younger, like a teenager, the Twilight series with some friends. It's more entertaining because we're like rereading them together, so we can roast it together, cringe together. But for me too, it's been very nostalgic. Like, there's just something about it. But I plan on vlogging or making a video on my experience of reading things that I read when I was younger and sharing that with you guys at some point. When people pass, it's just like so awkward because I'm literally just sitting in here by myself talking. Besides that, I've started the second book in the Bill Hodges trilogy from Stephen King. I believe it's Finders Keepers, and we're following it's crime fiction, so like it kind of opens with this author like people break into his house, and it's like a robbery, but he ends up being killed also. Then it kind of like jumps to a perspective of a family who is kind of struggling. The dad has lost his job, and so I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of like setting up kind of like the first book, because this dad goes to like this job fair, and while they're in line, him and several other people are hit by a Mercedes SUV. So it's like Mr. Mercedes. Weird that it's kind of like setting up the same way, but it's focusing really in on the children in this family. And so far I've gotten to a point to where the kid has found like this buried case or whatever. It's like treasure for him because he's a little kid. He's like, I want to say he's like 13, but still he's a kid. But I know that I'm assuming it is anyways, the stuff that was robbed from that author. So it's kind of bouncing back and forth timelines. It's going back to like, I think like the 70s when this robbery happened, and talking and kind of following like one of the people who robbed, kind of following his perspective. And then it's jumping to like the 2000s. I think it just now got to like 2010. And following this boy who found, I guess, the stuff that they robbed. So I know that it's going to kind of like intertwine, and it kind of already is with him finding that stuff, but I'm wondering how it's going to all pull together. I did, because I was curious. I looked a little bit further into it, and Bill Hodges doesn't even come in until like almost halfway into the book, which I found crazy. But I'm enjoying it so far. I think, now don't get me wrong, I love crime fiction, but I have to say, I think I like just his horror books more than his crime fiction. He's just, when you're reading a Stephen King book, you know it's going to be, he's going to go there. So when it's crime fiction, just like buckle up, it's going to be wild, and he's not going to hold back with these bad guys or, killers. So yeah, that's interesting. But today on the road, I may have mentioned it earlier in this vlog, but it's Friday. Today is Roman's field trip to the butterfly house. It's about 2.5 hours away. It's, for us, we live in Missouri, so it's like close to St. Louis, but it's a little out of St. Louis. So yeah, I hate driving to that area because not going into the city, because I love St. Louis so much. I just love being there. I really wish we would have moved there a couple years ago when we thought about it. Or, like in maybe like a surrounding area that is. But I love going there, and the fact that I'm going right next to it, but I'm not going to actually go into the city is so sad. But at the same time, with my anxiety, I think I'm okay with that since I am driving alone today. But I'm going to meet him there, and we get to do the tour, and then the kids just kind of all get to play. I can't really film too much, if anything, because there's going to be so many kids there and stuff, and I'm going to respect that privacy. But like I do every field trip. But if I'm able to, or if I take some cute pictures of Roman, I will show you guys. I love butterflies. They're one of my favorites. So I haven't been to a butterfly house. I think I went to the Butterfly Palace when I was younger, in Branson, Missouri. But I'm really excited because I haven't been to this one before. So yeah, I'm meeting him there. He's on the bus right now, which makes me anxious too. So I'm keeping myself busy with an audiobook and vlogging with you guys. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna check him out and take him out to dinner. I don't know where yet. We're gonna see what's around us. And then he's gonna ride back home with me because I don't want to have the anxiety of him riding the bus to and from today. But James is picking up Axel this afternoon and taking him out to dinner, I think, too. So little dates with our boys today. They need it sometimes, though. It's always nice to, just do things with just like one kid at a time and stuff, and really spend that time getting to know them and, even deeper than when it's chaotic and crazy with both of them all the time. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm going to get back to my audiobook, which is wild. I have been reading some dark, weird, eerie, very uncomfy horrors lately. I read the Just Like Mother, and then I would say the next one would be the Such Pretty Flowers. Yeah, both of them so weird. And then now I went old school, you guys, and I borrowed this from my library. It's a book club pick from, I mentioned the book club in a past vlog. I don't think they really have a name, but they're like Instagram handles, or like Reads with Dogs, Reads with Cats, or something like that. I plan to do a video talking about my book club soon, or it'll already be up, so stay tuned for that. And I'll kind of go more into detail there about all the book clubs and everything, but this is their month pick. It's Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata. But it's very, very interesting. It's this like CDs from the library, so I'm like, you know what? I got it, and I was like, I'm not gonna finish this on this, but like they don't have the book at the library. They just have the audiobook and CDs. And I'm like, oh, I could just get it on Audible or something, but I was like, whatever, we'll just see. And I've had it for like over a week, haven't touched it, and then this trip comes up, and I'm like, perfect. I'm just gonna listen to it on the trip, and I think it's like 5 hours. Yeah, like 5 hours and 44 minutes or something like that. So it's like almost 6 hours. You guys know me, I've said it. I listen to all of my audiobooks on like at least 2 times speed. So it's been interesting having to listen to like the regular slow paced audio, but it's super intriguing because it's very jarring. I don't even know what this is about, honestly. I just grabbed it because I knew it was a part of the book club, but I knew it was supposed to be a creepy story, but I also don't know, like, I never even looked it up, I forgot, but I didn't know, because it says read by various narrators, and I also seen something where it said stories, so I don't know if these are short stories. I'll have to check back in with you guys and let you know. So far, it's just been one story, and it starts off with these friends talking. I don't even know I can't remember how it started, but they're on the subject of, like, oh, she's wearing a sweater, and it's made out of human hair. And they're like, her friends complimenting her, saying, oh, it's so beautiful, and it's so soft. And she's like, I know, it's my favorite sweater ever. And she's like, why don't you wear it more often? And she says, like, her fiance doesn't like it, and she's not supposed to wear it around him and stuff. He thinks it's morbid and weird, and he doesn't like it. And she's like, oh my gosh, but it's like the luxury of life, and you should wear that more often. It's probably your most expensive sweater you have. And she's like, it is, and blah 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 blah. And then it talks about how she's talking to herself, and she's like, or like, thinking this, like, I wanted to show off my best clothes to my friends, but I know I need to take it off before my fiance gets home. Her fiance comes home, and then she's like kind of freaked out because she's like, I forgot to change. And he gets mad, and he's like, I told you to never wear that again, and that is so morbid. And she's like, what should we do with human bodies then whenever they die? And he was like, they should be burned. Like, I think it's supposed to be in a time where it's almost like there's no place to bury anybody else. That's what it kind of feels like. So, like, they're either harvesting and using the bodies for clothes and decorations, or they're burning the bodies. And he says, you should just burn the bodies. Why are people wearing humans, And then it goes, and then, like, the next, I feel like, chapter, because they fight for a little while about it and how morbid it is to him, and how if they're going to be married, she can't wear that kind of stuff or have that kind of stuff in her house. And then it skips to like her furniture shopping, and there's like a chandelier made out of fingernails, tables made out of like rib cages, like all kinds of weird shit. And her friends are just like, you're gonna live your whole life without like having any furniture like made out of, you know, the human bones and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, you know, he doesn't like this. He says that we won't be married if we have these. And it's so weird. And then either her mother-in-law or her mother just gave her a veil for her wedding, literally made out of the dad. So it's either her father, it's made out of the father-in-law, or it's made out of her dad who had cancer. I forgot which one it is. She just kept calling him dad. But it's like not just made out, like she's talking about how it's like this beautiful like lace pattern, but like looking closely to detail, she can see that it's skin. Oh, it's so weird. I've been cringing like the whole time. And like, I love weird, eerie shit. I love when a book can make me feel uncomfortable, but I'm like, oh my God, what am I listening to? And it's so eerie, like being in the car by myself and like is what I'm listening to. But I'll keep you guys posted. It's been a while, to say the least. Roman, I actually think I look better on your phone. Hey guys, so I'm currently using Roman's phone because my phone is like, it's so low on battery, but it's just been doing like really weird things lately. And every single time I try to vlog, it just keeps turning off. Maybe I'm just full on storage. I don't know. I need to look at it, but nothing's popping up, so it's just weird. We're on our way home. We have about 10 minutes left, if that, at this point. We're so close. We're tired. Roman's let me know that he has been away from home for 11 hours now. It's like 7 p.m. But yeah, we are almost home. We had a really good time at the butterfly house. Roman had a butterfly land on the back of like his hoodie, but I don't think I got it on video because it would land like so quick and then, you know, like fly off. But we did try vlogging and talked for a little bit, and then I realized that my phone didn't save any of the footage. So we did talk about how a butterfly landing on you means good luck, and so now Roman has good luck, which is really good. You need that because Mercury is in retrograde. But yeah, we are almost home. I listened to more of Life Ceremony. Not really ideal to talk about now, but I will fill you guys in later on it. It is short stories. They are very disturbing and wild out there. I think there's 12 total. I actually beat Roman's school bus to the butterfly house. I don't know how, but I beat them by like 10 minutes. So I was able to kind of like look at the back of that, you know, the case or whatever with the audiobook and see that it is short stories. They're horror with humor, but it's very, very dark humor. It's very like eerie, uncomfy vibes. I think a lot of people are not going to like it. It's very unsettling. Like, I felt unwell listening to a lot of it, but I'll fill you guys in later on it. We are so close to home though, and I am excited to get home and see Daddy and Axie.
Axel.
I am missing my Axie packs. But
I almost choked on an ice.
Well, be careful. After the butterfly house, we went to Red Lobster. Roman wanted Red Lobster. He wanted a lobster tail, so we went to Red Lobster, and it was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, Red Lobster is like the freaking best restaurant.
Okay. He approves, and mine wasn't bad, but I did pack mine to go. I got some pasta, and I packed some of the biscuits too, because I know Axel, he is my pasta loving child. He like mother like son. So yeah, he's gonna be excited to see me with that. But yeah, we had a little bit of a mommy and son date.
A mommy and a 9-year-old son on date, because I'm 9 now. Axel 6.
Yeah. And Axel went and got some Mexican food with Daddy.
At Maya's, yeah.
Yeah, he was excited. But, oh, Roman, you should show them what you got. You're at the souvenir, or the gift shop.
Oh, yeah. Okay, people, if you're watching this, I got this from the gift shop on the butterfly house. I was wanting to get a butterfly, but instead of that, I got a snake.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I wish that the butterflies that they had, like the stuffed animal ones, were a little bit like flatter. They almost looked like pillow pets or something. They were kind of chunky. I wanted to get something that was like butterfly, but I did get a butterfly postcard, just to kind of have to put like in his like scrapbook binder thing for his 3rd grade year, to go with photos from his field trip. So that would be really cool. And I let him pick it out. He picked one with a blue butterfly on it, and and I got a sucker.
A sucker that has bugs in it for Axel. I swear, if he tries that, he's probably gonna kill you.
Roman, I asked Roman if he wanted one, and you said, no way, or something like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I don't know though. Careful. Axel's are more like OCD, like he's very particular about things, so I don't think he's gonna eat it, but I think he's gonna get a good laugh out of it, so that's what I'm looking forward to. I wanted to at least get him something, but yeah, we are almost home now. I just wanted to check in. I don't know if I'll check in again tonight or if it'll be tomorrow, but I will let you guys know about this book soon, because it's wild, and I need to be able to finish it, but like I think I still have like 3 discs left. I went through 2 discs, and that was a trip to St. Louis and back, which is like 2.5-ish hours to there, and then 2.5 hours back. And I had to pause a couple of times, you guys. Once you get on those like 6, 8, 10 lane roads, oh my gosh, my anxiety was through the roof. But I don't know, I thought I would make more of a dent than what I did, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to drive around and finish this audiobook before it's due at the library. But yeah, I'll check back in later. Roman, you want to say anything? What? Okay. It's a sucker.
Oh.
Look.
Is it new? Ew.
What is that?
Bugs.
Yeah, there's bugs in the sucker. Isn't that cool?
No.
Alright, so I am currently cooking this creamy chicken thigh recipe, so you're going to hear it sizzling in the background. But I thought while I cook, I could kind of like fill you guys in because James is outside with the boys right now. The boys are playing on the trampoline. And I never was able to wrap up this vlog, so I want to talk about the books. First of all, I'm stupid, you guys. So I'm currently listening to Finders Keepers because, you guys, April is so close to being over, and I've got to finish the series. It's been a little bit more slow paced for me. I'm a little bit further than what that shows just because I've been listening to it for the past, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, I apologize because that was really loud in the kitchen, and while I was filming I was like, yeah, I should probably move this into the other room, but now you can hear James mowing. It's still better than in there, but I might have to like dip a little bit just to check on my chicken. If I burn this dinner, I'll be mad. But anyways, Finders Keepers. I am going to be doing a whole video on this series, so I'm just going to be brief about this, but I wanted to clarify because I did talk about it in a past clip in this vlog. So there was like this job fair going on, and I made a comment like, I think it's really weird that like there's a job fair or something like that in this book too, just like the first one, but it's like a different type of Mercedes. Is it the same one? Now I'm like, I don't know, probably like that far into the book now, and now it's starting to align. Like these stories are connecting because it happened at the same time. So I was like the same place, just like this dad survived this like hit and run, said that in a clip, and I was like, oh my god, I sound like an idiot. But I now know that it's the same thing event. Okay, chicken got a little dark, but it is safe and flipped. Moving on, to finish this vlog, I'm going to be finishing dinner with you guys, but I wanted to fill you guys in on the book Life Ceremony because it is the audiobooks I was listening to in the car on the way to the butterfly house, and then back. I tried listening to some and then had to like turn it off. I couldn't really fill you guys in on it because some of the stories are just a little graphic for my son. Maybe a little too graphic for you too. You are the judge of that, but I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a rundown. So like I said, there's 12 short stories in this. So the first story, first rate material, I kind of talked about, that's the one where like the guy doesn't like the fact that, or he thinks it's morbid that everybody uses like pieces from people who die and like has like decor and furniture, and you know, she has like the sweater of hair. That was, oh, I was sick. The second one is a magnificent spread, and this was the one where it kind of just talked about like people's choice of like dinner and like meals, their food taste, and how everybody has different food taste. I kind of found this one, it wasn't boring, it was intriguing, but it was kind of one of those things where the first one was so weird and eerie and just, ugh, so uncomfy that when I got to this one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like wild, and it just really wasn't that wild. The third one, A Summer Night's Kiss, is about a woman who has never been kissed, never has had sex. It talks about how she has children. She's now, I think, like in her 70s, and she had inseminations, so her and her husband like never had sex or anything, and she kind of is portrayed as like a prude pretty much. It's an interesting one. The fourth one, Two's Family, is about these women who I guess kind of grew up together. They're now old as well, and it's kind of like, it's sad. It's kind of sad. It's like talking about them, I think like in a nursing home is kind of what I gathered. Now this is like Japanese horror and it's translated, so I feel like there is still like, sometimes I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Like maybe there was a little bit of a barrier there between like translating it, but I gather that they're kind of like in a nursing home or something. And this was by listening to it, so I might have just missed something, but she is pretty much like talking about her life with this woman and how they were not sisters, they were just friends, but they have always been together and they decided to have family together. So they like had children together, but like going to like a sperm bank, like insemination. And once again, there's a lot of that in this book, you guys. And just like how weird people take that thought of two just straight women that just want to live life together and not really be an item, but just do things together. The fifth book, The Time of the Large Star, is about this girl. Her and her father moved to this new place, and you're kind of getting like it's just like a new town, but like no, it's like a new place because once she gets there, she finds out that nobody sleeps. Like nobody sleeps in this new place. So I don't really know. Again, I feel like there's a little bit of that barrier there, like why? But at the same time, her stories are so short and eerie and creepy. I think you're supposed to like question things like that. But anyways, these people don't sleep, and she meets this boy who also is intrigued on falling asleep, and now she can't go to sleep. I found that one very eerie and strange as well. But not as eerie as number 6, which is Poochie. This little girl tells this boy at school that she has a new pet named Poochie, and she invites him over to come and see her new pet. And upon arrival, he finds out that Poochie is actually a human male that is like the age of his own father. He's quite frightened by this, just like I was listening to this. It's very eerie, very creepy, again, very unsettling. And I did write a little note. I didn't really want to give anything away, but I think it's kind of referencing or referring to being in certain workforces, turning people like into almost like animals, like obeying animals and that type of ordeal. I don't know. I feel like if you read it, you kind of would be more aligned with me of like realizing like maybe like the hidden message that might be there. But nothing disturbed me as much as the story that this whole book is named after, Life Ceremony. Life Ceremony is where what I gathered from it, again, it's almost like you have to do a little bit of guessing. You have to kind of like build the world or like the story world plot yourself, jumping into the books because they are so short. This one was quite a bit longer than the previous books mentioned, but this world, it kind of seems like on one hand, it's running out of burial plots. So these people can do the traditional funeral, but they're also offered a large sum of money to do like life ceremonies instead. And what is a life ceremony? It is where you take your deceased loved one, cook them, eat them as a feast, celebrating their life with everybody, literally eating their body, and then to add on new life to the old life. Or, you know, one life is gone, so it's like a celebration to add on. And life, everyone partners up with random people and have what they call the insemination. It's very uncomfy. The last one I read was today because I told you guys I was like a little stressed out because I just had like the old-fashioned like CDs, old-fashioned. God, I'm making myself feel old. But the CDs in the car, and I'm like, I was trying to think of like things in the house that we had that would play these because we don't really have like any like DVD players, stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know if these would even play like on our PlayStation. Like I'm not sure. So I'm like, the only time I'm gonna be able to listen and finish this audiobook, and I still have 4 more stories left to finish before I wrap up my thoughts on the book or know the entire book. But I was like, you know what? I don't think scribed, I still don't know how you say it. I was like, I don't think I've checked there for this book. And while they did not have the audiobook, they had the book. It's on my phone, so I don't really care reading that way, like on a smaller screen. But it's short stories, so I'm just going to like maybe read one a day or read in between, because like I was kind of questioning, like, these are not really stories I can listen to with my kids in the car, so like after I drop them off at school I can listen to them on the way home, but it's not that far, so it's like I guess I'll listen to the stories as far as I can and then read the rest of it when I get home on my phone. But I did read the 8th book, which is Body Magic, and this is where this book also is tying in. I feel like it ties in a lot of things. I feel like each story has kind of like a little background agenda that it's kind of bringing to the table. This one, Body Magic, it talks about sexuality, girls coming of age and feeling weird ways about their bodies, and how it's so taboo to talk about anything. And although it's very creepy and I was very unsettled about the talk of 2 cousins being together, that was a little much for me. And also her describing licking the inside of his mouth, that was the uncomfy part of the story. I did like that it was kind of like shining a light on the taboo conversation of becoming a woman and like what that all entails. There's tons of kids at school laughing about certain things, and one girl has kind of progressed a little bit further in puberty than other girls, so she's pretty much like the laughing stock, and you know, she's at the same time trying to figure out her sexuality and trying to not make it taboo in a way that is really difficult when there's just mean kids. So I did enjoy that story. It was rather short and just kind of straight to the point. Still uncomfy. All of these have that common factor of being creepy, eerie. They're gonna make you feel some type of way, and a lot of the time you're like, ugh. I was like shuddering in the car listening to this. I'm like, ugh. But I'm gonna finish dinner. I have the chicken in the oven right now, and I have the potatoes boiling. I'm gonna finish some mashed potatoes. Hopefully I won't forget to show you guys what dinner looks like. It's a little questionable. It's an Instagram recipe, and there's a lot of oil in the pan. Like they didn't say to discard your like olive oil. So I'm like, that's a lot of oil, and I tried getting some of it out, but there's a lot of oil going on right now. And then there's also oil from the sun-dried tomato, so I'm like, this may be good, may not be good, but I think it has about 30 minutes in the oven left, and that's plenty of time for me to finish the mashed potatoes and figure out if my kids are gonna eat this dinner or not. Probably not. I'll probably have to figure out something else for them. But I'm gonna leave you guys there for this vlog because, like I said, I'm gonna have to like read and listen to this in the car when I can, and probably just like stories here and there. So I'll finish it out, but I feel like if you were like really dark horror or just like very uncomfy stories, I think you'll like it. It's intriguing and interesting, but it is like, don't say I recommended this for you. Looking forward to finishing it out and seeing what happens, and maybe it'll be my next vlog, but if not, I'll be reviewing it soon, and you can follow me over on Goodreads. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and for this vlog. I'm gonna close it out here and finish dinner with you guys.